Electric vehicles have been growing in popularity and have gained a lot of attention in recent years. But are they really better than the traditional petrol and diesel vehicles? In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at the differences between these two types of vehicles, including their environmental impact, performance, cost, convenience, and government policies. We will also explore the future of the automotive industry and what it means for consumers. So whether you're thinking about buying an electric vehicle or simply curious about the technology behind it, this video has everything you need to know. My name is Jonah, and on today's journey, I'll be your pilot. Do well to subscribe to my channel for a lot more great videos like this. Firstly, let's discuss the environmental impact of electric vehicles. EVs emit zero tailpipe emissions, which means they don't release harmful gases into the atmosphere. On the other hand, petrol and diesel vehicles emit carbon dioxide and other pollutants which contribute to air pollution and climate change. According to a report by the Union of Concerned Scientists, driving an EV produces less than half the global warming emissions of driving a gasoline-powered car. Additionally, EVs also have a lower carbon footprint compared to petrol and diesel vehicles. The production of batteries used in EVs has improved significantly over the years, and they are now made using sustainable materials. EVs also requires less maintenance than traditional cars, reducing the carbon footprint even further. However, it's worth noting that the production of electricity used to charge EVs can still result in carbon emissions if the energy is produced from non-renewable sources such as coal or gas. Moving on to performance, petrol and diesel vehicles have a clear advantage over EVs when it comes to a long-distance travel. Petrol and diesel vehicles have a longer range and can be refueled quickly at petrol stations. However, EVs are catching up with the fast charging stations becoming more common, allowing drivers to recharge their vehicles quickly on the longer journeys. The range of EVs is also improving with the new models being released regularly, and some models can now travel over 300 miles on a single charge. Another advantage of EVs is that they have instant torque, meaning they can accelerate quickly from a standstill. This can make EVs feel more responsive and agile than petrol and diesel vehicles. However, the acceleration of EVs can decrease as the battery charge reduces. Now, let's discuss the cost. EV can be more expensive to purchase than traditional petrol and diesel vehicles, but they can save drivers money in the long run. EVs requires less maintenance as they have fewer moving parts than traditional vehicles, which can significantly reduce the cost of repairs. In addition to this, electricity is cheaper than petrol or diesel, meaning EV owners can save money on fuel costs. According to a report by Consumer Reports, the average cost to operate an EV is around half the cost of operating a gas-powered vehicle. Finally, let's talk about convenience. Petrol and diesel vehicles have a clear advantage here, as there are petrol stations readily available across the world, making it easy to refuel when necessary. EVs, on the other hand, require charging stations, which can be less common depending on where you live. However, as mentioned earlier, the availability of charging stations is improving on a daily basis, and more are being installed every day. Some companies are also investing in home charging stations, allowing EV owners to charge their vehicles overnight. So which is better, electric vehicles or petrol and diesel vehicles? Apparently, it all depends on personal preferences and circumstances. EVs are undoubtedly better for the environment and can save drivers money in the long run, but petrol and diesel vehicles have a clear advantage when it comes to range and convenience. Ultimately, it's up to the individual to weigh up the pros and cons and decide which type of vehicle is the best for them. Government policies. In recent years, many governments around the world have introduced policies to encourage the adoption of electric vehicles. For example, some countries have implemented tax incentives or subsidies for EV buyers, while others have implemented emissions regulations that penalize high-emitting vehicles. These policies have helped to make electric vehicles more accessible and affordable for consumers and have also encouraged car manufacturers to invest in developing new EV models. However, some critics argue that these policies unfairly favor electric vehicles over petrol and diesel vehicles and that they may not be sustainable in the long run. For example, if too many people switch to electric vehicles, it could lead to a reduction in government revenue from fuel taxes, which could make it more difficult to fund road infrastructure projects. Future of the automotive industry. The world becomes increasingly concerned about climate change and environmental sustainability. It is clear that the automotive industry will need to evolve in order to remain relevant. Many car manufacturers have already announced plans to phase out petrol and diesel vehicles in the coming years and also to invest more heavily in electric and hybrid technology. At the same time, there is also significant research and development on the way in areas such as hydrogen fuel cells and alternative fuels, which could provide viable alternatives to traditional internal combustion engines in the future. It remains to be seen which technologies will ultimately dominate the automotive industry, but it is clear that the industry is undergoing a significant transformation. According to Forbes, by Judy Kubis, Global Marketing Director, Automotive SAP, the automotive industry is shifting gears. Global disruption, technological advances, and changing consumer behaviors are altering the auto industry on many levels all at once. Electric vehicles and petrol and diesel vehicles both have pros and cons, and the best choice will depend on each individual's need and priorities. However, as concerns about climate change and environmental sustainability continue to grow, it's likely that more and more consumers will choose electric vehicles in the coming years. This will not only help to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality, but it will also help to drive innovation and investment in the automotive industry. Finally, as technology advances in the automotive industry and several other industries, we all should follow the lead. And that will be all on today's video. Smash the subscribe button if you enjoyed the piece of information thus, and leave us a comment on the comment section down below. Do well to share, and if you want to get a car, refer to our next video. Factors to consider before purchasing a car. I'll leave a link to that video on this video description down below.